So I'm going to go over the 12 bar blues progression. For the 12 bar blues, we start with the A major progression. And for that one, we're going to start with my first finger on the second fret of the 4th string. And I'm going to play the 5th and the 4th string together. And I'm going to go down and then up for the end of 1. Then for B2, I'm going to add my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And I'm also going to play the 5th string and 4th string together. And then I'm going to go down, up. And we do this pattern for 4 measures. This is how we count it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 for the next system, the next line, for the first 2 measures we have a D major progression. And for the D major, I'm going to play the 4th string and the 3rd string. But for the 3rd string, I'm going to push down on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And same pattern, I'm going to go down, up, and then I'm going to add my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And I do this for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I go back to my first progression, which is the A major. So I'm going to go back to the 5th and 4th string. Remember, I'm pushing down on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, to my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 4th string. And I do that for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the last system, I have multiple progressions. I have an E major progression, which I'm going to start on the 6th string and on the 5th string, but I'm going to push down with my first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string for beat 1. For beat 2, I'm going to add my 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the 5th string. Now I'm going to play the 6th and the 5th string together. And I do that for 1 measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I go to for the next measure, I go to the D progression, which is going to be the 4th string and the 3rd string, which is my first finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. 4th string and 3rd string. 2 and 3 and 4 and then for the next measure, I go to the A progression, which is going to be the 5th string and the 4th string. Remember that I'm going to push down with my first finger on the 2nd fret for beat 1. And then for beat 2, I'm going to add my 3rd finger for the 4th fret of the 4th string. So in rhythm, sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And for the last measure, I go back to the E progression, which is the E major chord. So I'm going to go to the 6th and 5th string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and remember, for the E major chord, I'm just using my first finger on the 2nd fret for beat 1 and my 3rd finger for beat 2 on the 4th fret. That pattern repeats for the whole measure. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you're noticing, my finger alternates for beat 1, then beat 2 with my 3rd finger, beat 3 with my first finger, and beat 4 with my 3rd finger. So it's just rotating back and forth. A few tips. If you're using your first finger to your 3rd finger, you could keep your first finger down. find this a little bit challenging, then remember that you could just pick up the finger. One last thing, my thumb is behind the 3rd fret. So keep your thumb behind the 3rd fret. And here's the whole song at a slow tempo. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3 and 4 and 1. One last thing that I like to do and to get used to stretching my fingers and making sure that my fingers could move from string to string, it's just playing 1st to 3rd and moving it to the next string and to the next string. And then going also backwards, I could go from the 4th string to the 5th string to the 6th string. Remember that you could also go all the way to the 3rd string, because those are the notes that you're playing. And you can continue just going down. It's not an actual scale, but it's just developing your 1st and your 3rd finger, just getting used to stretching 2 frets, so going from my 2nd to my 4th. As I'm practicing this, I'm not thinking about my right hand or going up and down. I'm just going down, down, so I can focus on the left hand.